So in this part of the video, I will talk about the code for Lab 2 Experiment 1, where essentially I wanted to simulate a doorbell when we would click or hit the button of a doorbell and it would sound. Essentially, I simulated this using a buzzer and a switch button. So if we look at our code now, we will see that the essentially that there is the doorbell function inside our while loop because we want it to be constantly repeating over and over. So if I were to implement this, right, if I were to implement this function, it would look in this manner. So basically, what this is saying is um, if the button is pressed, then make a noise. Else, if the button is released, then don't make a noise anymore. So essentially, that's what these two statements are. So again, if the button is pressed, make a noise or make it sound. Else, don't sound. So that's pretty much it for that one. That's the entire code. So now I will show the results for this part of the code, which essentially is I press the button, it's going to make noise. I let go, not going to do anything. Again, if I press the button, it's going to do something or make noise. If not, if it's not being pressed, so in other words, else, it's not going to make noise. So let's look at it now.
In this video, I will talk about the results for experiment 1 in lab 2. So here what I've created is a doorbell control circuit, which essentially is supposed to simulate the doorbell of any house. So essentially the circuit will be connected so that when I press this switch or this button here, this buzzer here will make noise or essentially turn on. So essentially what I did was I used this microcontroller to actually implement this. And in order to implement it, I coded using an if statement saying if this switch is pressed, then the buzzer, which is back here, would turn on. And if it's not, then the buzzer would be turned off, which is essentially what we want. So now if we look here and if I press on this button or switch, it makes noise. And as soon as I release, it stops making noise, which is essentially what we wanted. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, press, makes noise. Once I release, it doesn't make noise anymore.